Now that we've covered all of the big controversies, let's talk about the top 7 most controversial, but not too controversial that they weren't in their own video, controversies on the channel. But before we start, I'd like to mention that this background isn't necessarily indicative of the list to come. It's actually taken from the Flustered Fernando channel, which re-uploads rips deemed too controversial for the SiIvaGunner channel. Most of the rips discussed in this video reside there as a result. So without further ado, let's get into the list.
Number 7.
The Kazoos. At the bottom spot on this list, I can't say I really agree with these being controversial. Primarily known for the Crypt and the Necrodancer rips, there are a lot of Kazoo covers on this channel, and as it turns out, they're done by the Kazooist Fivda. Back in February, Fivda submitted the rips Last Stand Conductor and Night of Fire to the channel, and since then, just kept making Kazoo rips. Now, I really never understood the controversy over these, because contrary to what most people say, there is a lot of effort put into making these. And at a couple hours per rip for recording, mixing, and mastering, I never really understood this claim. And when I picture myself as someone who doesn't know anything about the channel, accidentally clicking on one of these videos and hearing Kazoos, I can't help but think it would be hilarious.
Number 7.
Bowflex. Man, I always found this hilarious, but plenty of people seem to disagree with me. Sometimes a Bowflex advertisement will replace a rip. The joke is generally pretty simple. The song sounds like something that would play over a Bowflex advertisement, so they just play the song over the commercial. And on a channel based on subverting expectations, what if a YouTube ad started playing and it never stopped? And the viewer slowly comes to realize that the song is playing in the advertisement. To me, that sounds hilarious. And that's pretty much exactly what these rips are. And this reminds me a lot of unedited footage of a bear, which if you haven't seen it, it's a short film that I really love and respect. With that said, here's the actual story behind how Bowflex rips came to be. This was stated in YoDuder's AMA on the *THIS subreddit. It says, "I was watching my friend stream Shin Megami Tensei, Digital Devil Saga, and just making fun of it, and then I realized that the battle theme sounds a lot like the music from a Bowflex commercial and made a shitty YouTube doubler, and me and my friends loved it. This was like 2 years ago, but I'm cursed with great memory." The story behind that sounds quite funny, and I get that these rips aren't super in-depth, but I think they're funny nonetheless. Not everything has to be a masterpiece.
It's not a game, I'm not a diet plan, I'm challenging you. I'm burning fat and I'm building muscle, I'm here to see it through. 30 exercise, muscles multiply.
Number 7.
Justin RPG. In the context of this channel, Justin RPG is a vorophile who believes he is married to the Pokemon Reshiram. Of course, this is true in real life as well, but this channel really focuses in on these elements, where he ties into the channel artist's songs which he sings about marrying and being eaten by Reshiram. Yeah. So this was a thing primarily back during the reboot, which, as you know, was caused by people dislike bombing Snow Halation. I figure this came about as a way to show those people just how bad a rip can actually be. And as it intended on being hated, I think it did its job fairly well. But I always found these rips pretty funny.
My wife Reshiram was captured by a team who was capturing legendary Pokemon. I need to go save her.
Number 7.
Pupa. I bet most people out there watching this haven't even heard of this one. While pretty obscure, it's definitely bad enough to warrant a spot on this list. And there's really not much to say about it. It's an anime about cannibalism that gets pretty graphic. It doesn't come up very much though. Feel free to check it out on Flustered Fernando, but I'm not going to show it here.
Number 7.
Kramer Day. I believe these rips were so controversial that they were just uploaded straight to the Flustered Fernando channel, skipping the main channel entirely. So for some context, Michael Richards, who played Kramer in Seinfeld, went on this racist tirade on stage while performing a stand-up set. And on the 10th anniversary of this, there were several rips made to include this rant. Now, the reason this isn't ranked higher is, while the content of the rant is very offensive, the rips include it in a lambasting manner. You're not supposed to agree with what he's saying, you're supposed to laugh at him for being so dumb. So really, these rips are doing the opposite of condoning his actions. You can also check those out on the Flustered Fernando channel. I'm not going to play one here.
Number 7.
Elliot Rodger. This is a rare one to come up, but whenever it does, there's always a bit of controversy. So Elliot Rodger is a dude who vlogged about how much he hated his life, hated women, and hated, well, really everything. He ended up killing about 6 people and then killing himself. I can't even begin to get into the specifics about him, but just watch or read anything about him and you'll get the idea. I recommend Mumpky's half-an-hour-long review on him. Go subscribe to Monkey Jones. Anyway, Elliot shows up in a couple of places on the channel. To name a few, the ending of Fly Me to the Moon from Bayonetta, Knock Knock from Hotline Miami, and in Flustered Fernando's Avatar. There's others, but the only reason he's not higher is because he shows up so rarely.
Hi, Elliot Rodger here.
Number 7.
The 9/11 rips, colloquially known as the Jetsons. Now, back in September, the channel wasn't doing so well in regards to controversy, with the bean in full swing. So, of course, on September 11th, virtually every rip had something to do with the 9/11 terrorist attacks. This is where the Jetsons come in, as a lot of them involved them crashing into the towers. I'm not really going to try to justify this. I honestly think this was the low point of the channel. Honestly, I couldn't tell you much of what happened because I totally stopped watching the channel for a while. And if something turned me off of SiIvaGunner, you should know it's controversial. And that concludes the top 7 controversies on the SiIvaGunner channel. If you'd like to see something legitimately hilarious, check out the fake channel ending up on the Flustered Fernando channel. It wraps up all of these things that people hated into one video, and honestly, it's a really nice fake finale. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this despite the weird format. See you next time.